ones.
No.
Like,
No.
you know...
I mean,
like
Hex
the word-
has.
Like the word spoink.
No,
Or,
okay,
Not
Spoinks.
unless you want. Not unless you
Spoinks,
want Hex
okay.
to edit another 30 minutes.
Spoinks,
What if I
okay.
call someone a dicklet?
I still have no idea what was removed.
Good!
That's
I
probably
don't
okay.
either, and that annoys the fuck out of me.
I'm fucking
What if
glad.
Well, you
What
were
if I-
there though, so you could just go through the episode and find where the edit was and figure it out.
The edit's
Yeah.
very obvious because it literally cuts out and I play the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm theme as a title card changes to Alex tries to demonetize a non-monetized video.
But here's the thing, I wasn't there. I had stepped away because
Yeah,
we were taking
it started-
like a
Oh.
10-minute break.
It started with
Only
me coming
Caitlin
back.
and maybe Sky could have the knowledge.
No, I was gonna say, I came in there and said, hey, am I here all by myself? And then Will and Skylar said, nah, we here too. And then I called out Yanni Janssen, our one viewer who has...
That
Who
was
has-
kept in. That was kept
Yeah.
in. I kept that in.
And then Will just, like, breathes heavily into his mic and is like, hey, Alex, what's the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat? Well, no one else.
No, that's not actually what happens. You have like this weird conversation about words that could get us in trouble.
Did we get reverse Palestines?
And
Is
you
that what
mention-
happened? Did
and
you
you
mention the B word?
And you mention a country that's name is vaguely close to a possible slur. Then you start to.
Palestine.
Then
If
you
we're
start
not
talking.
recording, why not just say what it is?
We are recording.
Oh!
I
Yeah, I
didn't
said
know.
Nicaragua.
Hey, you gotta edit these first few minutes.
No, these first few minutes are fine.
Is it me or is just Devin's quality getting shittier?
No, it sounds just fine.
Yeah, Devin's quality sounds
I
fine.
hear Dylan fine. What's wrong with your ears, Caitlin?
What's wrong with your ears?
What's wrong with your ears? What do you hate about South American countries, Caitlin?
I mean, if you really want to find out what Alex said, you could look in the chat as the session plays, because I can't blur out the fucking word on the screen in the chat.
Because Skylar was panicking because they didn't know what I said.
Like you can see the word is still in the chat log. Because I can't get rid of it from the chat log, and I wasn't gonna fucking edit that out as well.
Here's the funny thing about it. Saying it will probably get you demonetized because people can't hear you as well over the mics. Having the word actually spelled out will not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So leaving the word in the chat there will not get you in trouble. Saying the word will, because mics tend to not pick up everything, or they won't pick up how you say things.
Yeah, and remember, the text won't, because the YouTube algorithm machine that checks the videos, it's not a person anymore. It goes through it and it checks it based on sound, like the sound waves of words. So it won't pick it up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that aside, it's time to do the spaces again. So
The space.
not the spaces. Don't do the spaces. That will
Spaces?
get us. That
Are we
will
doing
get us.
spaces?
Space Awards.
The spaces.
Anyway,
Kill the faces.
so we all know how this starts by now. I'm going to drag you onto the screen, and then you can do the clickies of your characters, and then we will do our questions as always. Where the fuck is the? Oh, there they are.
I'm gonna go kicking and screaming.
There's Flipnor.
Every single person how they feel about a certain subsect of individuals.
Oh, Jesus Christ! There you go. There should be at least one of you all on the screen.
Oh, there's a Frere. There's my Frere.
There's a Frere bear. He's not a sun bear. He's a Frere bear.
Yeah, he's not a sun bear. He's a polar bear. Sun bears are
Come
very
on,
different.
Caitlin crit. Damn.
Ah, damn.
I do like sun bears. They are funny.
I gotta get to my token.
They're so small. I was
Word
looking
there.
at pictures of like.
Your
small
token's right
sun
here.
bears.
Sun bears
Looking
are
at pictures
tiny,
of Flipnor.
They have
Very
the
small.
best tongues. We've confirmed this.
But like that's the weirdest thing is like look at that picture of its tongue in comparison to its size is what's really weird.
I told you, sun bears can please every woman.
Yeah, you told me that and we discussed that on a place that wasn't being fucking recorded. Devin, congratulations, you rolled the highest.
No,
I did.
I don't want the
No thankies, no thankies.
no sun bear tongue. No.
Moving
It
along.
gives the big slurp.
Oh, okay, Devin, ask your question, please.
Fuck. I have
Yeah.
nothing prepared.
Fuck,
You're not supposed to prepare.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you fuck me.
On a scale of 1 to fuck Flipnork. No.
How do you feel?
Whoa, dog. Don't come at me like that all at once. Shit.
Well, you
Talk.
gotta be prepared, because you could roll like literally the best roll.
I'm getting mixed signals. First I'm told not to prepare, now I'm being told you gotta be prepared, motherfucker.
Prepare, not prepared to be prepared.
Exactly. Tox. Do you in fact wear that hat all the time, or is it always that color? Fuck. This is what I got. We're gonna be here all night.
Tox wears the hat whenever she leaves.
The hat stays on in bed.
When she's like relaxing or lounging somewhere, the hat maybe comes off, but it's a fashion statement.
It's a fashion statement.
Listen here, losers. The hat stays on for sex.
And Goku hat stays on during sex.
Same with the Spider-Man slippers.
The Spider-Man slip. Yeah, naturally, you gotta have protection. The Spider-Man slippers stay on during sex. That's what I tell all the people I've slept with. Anyways, Kara, it's your turn.
Oh my god. Flipnork.
Yes.
Does the hat stay on during sex?
Does the fin stay on?
What color was the steamroller that ran over here?
Shut up.
Magenta.
How exactly did you come about your meeting and basically giving your oath, your allegiance to your deity?
Liftoff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Liftoff.
I'm glad you asked that question, dog. Because
You don't have a clue.
one day when I was like, yo, dad dog, I gotta like find myself and stuff. And he was like, well, Flip Dog, I think that's probably for the best. You are like 25. You should maybe get out of the house. So I went up to the top of the mountains on insert planet name I can't remember right now.
Are you fucking kidding me right now, you son of a bitch?
I swore. It's just a swore.
There you go, you did it. You got it in the end.
And then I was like, yo, it's like the tallest mountain and stuff. I should like maybe not climb it, because that can like require a lot of upper body strength, and that kind of came later. I said climb, which is not a word, but that's not the point. Blame it on Devin's larynx. Anyway, so I climbed the mountain, and I was like, this is a tall mountain. And then at the top of the mountain, there was like a shrine, and he was like, yo, dog, do you want to like get ripped and stuff and like make people better? And I was like, that's kind of vague. Can you give me like slightly more? And he's like, yeah, that seems fair. And then he gave me a 200-page manual. And then I was like, this also seems like quite a lot. And I was like, well, okay. And so I read it for a couple hours, and I was like, you know, this seems pretty all right. And then I was like, let's do it. I totally didn't make all that up on the spot.
Interpretations of the story are subject to change based on not actually happening.
Subject to modification.
Steroids.
Steroids.
I just really hope it's an instruction manual to fucking gym equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
But
He's
that's-
standing there. He's reading, and he feels a little poke. Whoa! What was that? Nothing. And he puts the steroids behind his back.
No, you're against steroids. Remember, you're against things that
Just give him
enhance
that.
you.
Yeah, yeah, but he has to give it. He has to give that fast.
Yeah, that was the reason
It's given to him quick.
That's why he's against vaccines, because it artificially makes your immune system stronger.
Right, Alex, it's your turn. Oddly enough.
Okay, so for Alenia,
Oh yeah, let's pick.
you're
one
okay,
game.
all right. Yeah, so Alenia, we know based on what's happened in previous sessions that it's more like there's a slight possibility that you have a collection of romance novels. Which romance novel do you think would bring Alenia the most, like, negative judgment upon her?
Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. What's the one that you don't want anyone to find? You know the one you hide.
No idea.
Fuck you. I'm not accepting that as an answer.
I ain't got all these fucking titles in my goddamn head.
Okay,
I just made up an entire
Here's the
backstory
thing.
about going
Here's
up to
the
a
thing.
mountain in
As an avid romance reader, I don't have any I'm ashamed of. Fuck y'all.
No, okay.
Why
okay.
should she be ashamed of one?
Okay, what's the weird... No, she's not ashamed of that she has it, but she's ashamed of the way that people might react. So, like, what's the one that, like, someone would look at
I don't think she'd be ashamed of any of them.
No,
Hold on. I call bullshit on that because of the simple fact that when this first started occurring, you were blushing when attention was drawn
Yeah,
to it. So you
but-
are ashamed.
Okay, hold on.
I also want to
She
bring out...
is not ashamed of them. She
I also
just...
think that you're
It's
misinterpreting
harder to
the question I
discuss
asked.
her hobbies with people.
I think you're also misinterpreting the question I asked. I didn't ask which one she was ashamed of. I asked which one would bring the most negative views from other people.
Yeah.
She might think
I honestly don't know. Like, I got nothing.
Make a book up.
Dude, like... I can't come up with books on the spot like that.
I'm a very creative person.
You
and I
could come
booked it
up with
at
a
that
weird...
point.
I believe if anyone in this room, you could come up with a weird romance novel that people might go,
I bullshitted a backstory so hard I ain't even committed to it.
He's not. He's really not.
Like, I legit don't know any of the, like, ideas there.
Beauty and the Squid, bestiality edition.
Sun Bear and the Sun Elf. There you go.
Sorry, the Lusty Luxodon and the Limp Newt is pretty fucking good.
That's terrifying, because that implies a Luxodon fucked a soul.
Or the other way around.
Oh yeah. That equally is terrifying. What about a book between an awakened... Alright, fuck it. If you're not gonna cut one, I'm gonna cut the weird ones in your collection then as punishment.
No, I'm not. Let's not do that. Like, if you gave me time with that, I could do it, but off the spot, I can't.
You gotta play along a little with this, Caitlin. You gotta play
Like,
along
I've
with
got nothing.
Here's the thing: you're trying so hard not to come up with something.
No,
Right,
I've
okay.
literally got nothing.
We're gonna move on, but as a form of light punishment, the next session, I need you to come up with 5 romance novels that are in Elenia's collection, and at least one of them has to be something that's weird enough that she may think people would judge her for it. Not that she's ashamed of it, but she thinks, oh, people are weird and they might judge me for this. So that's 5 books in your collection.
Is this how it works now? If you don't have a question ready, you get homework?
If you don't have a question ready, I decided punishment for you. And
This seems
like a fitting punishment because I'm not asking you to go and rethink a character. I'm just thinking you've made me aware that your character has a romance novel collection. Well, guess what? Now you need to think of 5 books from that collection.
Okay.
And at least one of them has to be something that people might go, that's weird.
And no
Alright.
bugging other people to help you with it.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that you need at least 5, okay? But it is actually your turn to ask a question now. So.
Flipnork. Does Flipnork have any siblings?
Oh, I think he's probably an only child. I say probably in case I change my mind later.
I think we, when we
Parents are
were,
just like,
when we were
his
working
parents
on
like, we
it,
should one of them. One is enough.
I kind of just want her to have like a fucking
Did we
couple
already
of
reference them?
siblings, and it's all like dude bros and girl bros, and just
Well, I did establish that I think he's the broiest in the we established that his mom was not quite like that, but his dad
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and she was like more aggressive, and she chilled him out a little bit. Or sorry, the other way around. Did I reference a sibling at some point and I forgot?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I didn't think so. Yeah.
yeah. You talked about your mom and dad, but you never mentioned if you had siblings or not. So I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Now there's always room for him to have an evil half brother lying around somewhere that he doesn't know about. I guess.
Nah.
In fact, once we get real soap opera.
But
One evil brother is just like, the steamroller thing seems kind of stupid. I think I'm out.
That's a weird ass fucking family tradition. I don't know if I want to be a part of this anymore.
Yeah.
Do this kind of thing? Yes, all the time. I don't think they do.
Yeah, apparently they do. Anyway, so Tara, it is your turn to ask anyone a question.
Oh no.
I'm doing
I mean, I
jazz
have
hands
one,
to
but-
spite Alex for the fact that he can't do it. Fuck you.
Yeah, yeah. I have a question. I just said oh no to follow through with the tradition.
It's up to you.
Freyr,
Yeah.
what is Freyr's mental image of Tox? What kind of person does he feel she is?
Oh!
Ooh, this is
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the way Freyr sees Tox, he sees. So legitimately, what he sees is, and his views changed over time, more and more. What he sees now, like whenever he looks at Tox, is he looks at he essentially, now that they're like going through this whole thing of love and things, like he sees a beautiful, like strong woman who is basically chaining herself down to past events that he's probably never asked her too much about, or that she's never really brought up with him because there's no point in it at the moment. It does, it wouldn't make sense, kind of deal. So a lot of his stuff is like he feels that when he sees her, it's like this is the one. This is the person that I want to protect. That my life is linked to them on a level that, like, if some of the other people here die, he'd be heartbroken and crushed because they're his friends and he cares about them. So like losing them would actually hurt. But if Tox were to die, like essentially on his hands, I don't know if he recovered mentally, it would be a very, very long road. Tox is essentially that one thing for him that he is hyper focused on, whether it's romantically or as a friend, and is a big reason why he's pushed to wanting to start to live and like essentially become the strongest to forge a better future and break everyone's chains, because he sees how much the burdens that she has. These burdens that he doesn't necessarily know entirely about, but he knows she has them. And he doesn't need to ask what they are, he just needs to know that he needs to make them go away, essentially. So he sees a woman that is strong and can take care of herself, but someone that he feels he can't live without.
Okay.
Very good answer. Very good answer. All right. Well, now that we have our questions done and we have our homework set for next week, we will pick off where we left off, and I'll give a very, very brief description of what happened last time. So we obviously we kind of went back in time a little bit so that we had a little bit of what was Tox doing in the lead up to Freya's fight and kind of during the fight, which involved getting to know one of the scummiest people in this room, and that's saying something, and that's Raymond. Raymond Castellano. Yep. and kind of accidentally getting to know the awakened detective known as Dick, who is kind of investigating Raymond and wants to get him put away. But as he stated, half of Tzion PD is cowards, and the other half of Raymond, the other half of the PD is too much in his pocket, or too much in the underground's pocket, to want to put him away. But he's not. He's a maverick that doesn't play by the rules, but also cares about justice. There was a slight bit of trepidation between the two, because Tox kind of indicated that their belief is that Raymond should probably be killed, and Dick's belief was that, oh no, he should serve proper justice, so he should go to a prison. He should go to a place where he's in four walls and bars for the rest of his life. But there was a agreement that they would try to help each other out. Dick, in fact, handed over one of his cards to Tox so that Tox can contact him afterwards. Then we kind of went back forward in time, and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle that took place after there was some introductions to individuals that kind of took up the invitation that Freya handed out for people to come to join him. Raymond himself actually was one of the people that came up and kind of got to know him and said that he admired his power, and he admired that, and that was something that he could work with, which is kind of strange because in the conversation with Tox, he kind of hinted that he would want to use Freya as one of his muscle. So there's that kind of idea of him saying to one person that he wants to use someone, but then saying to that person's face that he wants to work with them. So there's a bit of weirdness going on there. Then, of course, we had the hilarious discussion between Four Leaf, who works for the 13s, and Freya, talking about why he's not wearing any shoes, and that if he goes to New Harlem, he needs he could be hooked up with some Yeezys that won't embarrass him. They are his feetsies. What are those? They're my feetsies. Yeah, that was a great moment. And then with the trouble began, where people started to step a little bit into the area of the Seven Dragons, and they really, really didn't like it. There was some initiative rolls that were made, as Nodachi was trying to push back the group from getting too close to Nobunaga, the leader of the Seven Dragons, because Elena has maybe a bit of a crush on the leader of the Seven Dragons, which was spurred on by Flipknot to go and speak to him, which then led to a bit of a confrontation, and individuals started to lose intelligence points because they may have been a bit too close to an individual of the Seven Dragons, or were perhaps being targeted by an individual from the Seven Dragons. Eventually, everything was kind of pushed aside, and that the confrontation was halted. There was an acknowledgement that the Seven Dragon leader Nobunaga had heard what was being said and took it on board, but did not wish to commune with these people and did not want them in his space, in his territory. That was kind of then put to bed by an individual that came across and mentioned that the Siren Queen, Myra, wants to come and speak to the group. And we got that from both sides. We had the individual over there with the nameplate Killshot Kate, and the individual over here, whose nameplate actually isn't open, which I'll put it on. Cyrene. Cyberpunk, yeah. Cyrene, who came over and spoke to Ector and Freya, saying that they wanted, the Queen required them to meet her. So that's what we're going to pick up with both groups being told by a representative of the Siren Queen herself that they are to come with them as they are going to show them to the Queen, because the Queen wishes an audience with them. So we'll take it from there. So, that's where we start.
Okay. Freyr would probably look to Hector and just be like, see, look at this. The plane, it's already working. It's good. We're good. Great.
Yes, your plan may have already begun to work, Freya, but let us remember that we're going before someone of some brand of royalty, so just please try to remember who we're speaking to.
Oh, of course. I won't do anything to embarrass nor humiliate us. Freyr
That's
starts with
Elena's
a smile
job.
that may or may not be one of mischievous.
Man, marriage proposals are real different than I remember.
Very mischievous grin on Freyr's face. He's totally gonna
cause some bullshit. But yeah, so what I will then say is that the group over there, the Freya, Cyrene, and Hector, get led over here, and you would notice that Cyrene blows some bubblegum, pops it in a rather large bubble, and then seems to place her hand over the door, looks at Freya and says, "Just give me a second, I gotta find where it is." Feels around the wall a moment, knocks on it, and then a door appears that you haven't seen before. It was certainly not there before.
Freyr has that, that anime, the golden stars in the eyes. Ah, wall doors, amazing.
After you, big guy.
Freyr will stroll on in.
You do in fact stroll on into the mysterious door. You all go to the another dimension. Let's pick up with the other people, and then we'll reunite the team in a different place. So, Kate gestures away from the group towards the wall over here and says, "Yeah, if you just want to come with me, I can take you to the Queen, so maybe you want to leave the Dragon Boys alone."
Sounds great.
Just go over to that wall, Shark Boy.
Dragon Boys.
I need to zoom out, evidently. Which wall?
Yeah.
I think for our own safety, we should probably leave them alone.
Oh yeah, you really should.
Marriage is serious business.
She looks at Tox and gestures in a kind of bowing-like manner towards the wall and go, "After you, little lady."
Right. You don't have to be so formal.
Well, I mean, you're venerated guests of the Queen, after all.
I'm nobody.
Nah. Down here, even the nobodies are somebody.
You're with the bear. You're automatically an honored guest.
She makes her way to the wall and, in a similar manner, feels around it for a moment, and then after finding a spot in it, gives it a knock. And you would notice that a door appears that you are certain was not there before.
Can I do perception to see if I notice the exact spot?
You can do a perception check, yes, and I can tell you the exact spot.
No.
Damn.
Oh, goddamn thing.
You don't see you see a door. You don't know exactly where, but hey, there's a door there now. And
Coincidentally, Flipboard points and goes, "Hey, that's a door."
Yeah, buddy, that's a door. So if you
Wow.
wanna go through it,
We should go through the door. I think.
yeah, maybe go
that
through
door
the door.
wasn't
buddy.
there before.
No, it
Was it not?
wasn't.
I
I
stepped
don't
through the
know.
door.
I don't know. 17 said it wasn't there before. Now I'm not sure. I also go through the door.
You go through the door. Elena, do you go through the door?
Through the door.
You go through the door. You fit through the door.
Yeah, go
Good.
through the door.
Okay, Tox, do you go through the door?
Yeah, I'm going through the door.
Okie dokie. So then all of you go through the door. Pop all of you onto a different map for a moment. I'm just gonna pop over to the other map, and I'm gonna see if I've already put you there, or if I need to copy you. No, I didn't put you there, so I will just copy you over.
How dare?
How dare? How dare?
We're in the
I do.
Queen's Court now.
You are now, in fact, going to meet the Queen.
I
Copy.
I wonder if they have blue hair.
Maybe. Maybe.
I hope so.
I hope so too. That'd be funny.
It'd be pretty hot, I imagine.
So some of you have appeared, and then the rest of you will appear momentarily. So those of you who appear, you appear in a room that seems very, very different to the place you were just in. This is more of a kind of how to put it. This is like a very bourgeoisie kind of area. It's very elegant. It's kind of what you imagine a fancy whorehouse in France might be from like the early 1700s.
I love whorehouses.
I love whorehouses.
They're my natural environment.
Does Tox say that, or
No.
I do love horse houses though. They're pretty cool.
Do you? But yeah, it's exactly as you see. So you can see there are areas of entertainment there. Like you can see that there is in fact a like I said, there is a place to play cards. There seems to be a place to play blackjack. There seems to be some kind of pool table. There seems to be areas for you to sit down. There is like some kind of low music in the background that you can hear.
Nice.
It is a very it's an ambient scene, is what I would say that it
Sure.
is.
Frere would turn to the rest of the group and kind of just wave awkwardly. Just be like, oh, hello.
You are now all back together. You can see that there are areas to sit down. There appears to be a pipe organ in the background. There is a door here. There is a door here. Big ornamental door there. And
Sorry, I'll be right back.
there is a strange kind of stone obelisk in the corner over there. Everything else is as it appears to be. There's some tables in front of those big sofas for you to rest upon.
you did good in your fight when you actually decided to fight?
Yeah. Frere is a little like blushing and flustered because he did scream out some stuff. He's just like, I was probably so cringy. He's currently cringing at himself.
That was what I'd say, Frere, is that was not what the people call keck. That was cringe.
Yeah.
It was not keck. It was cringe, Frere.
That was the least lit thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You kill me for saying that.
Okay. What you finna do?
Can I get a quick inspection of the surroundings? How tidy are things? How good is the housekeeping?
Right. Roll me a perception check, because that's that you're just looking around everywhere. You're not going anywhere specific. And I will tell you. So from what you can see, everything looks immaculate. Like, you can't see any dust. You can't see any dirt. It looks extremely well kept, almost creepily well.
Very well.
What's on the table in front of me?
So that appears to be a collection of bones. Roll me an investigation or a medicine, and I can tell you a little bit more about the bones in front of you.
Investigation.
So you look at the bones in front of you, and the bones in front of you are definitely much larger than they should be. They look like a much larger creature, not a humanoid. They're humanoid in shape and structure, but they're much bigger. Like, this is not a medium-sized creature. This is a large-sized creature. you would notice that there seems to be something. There's very elven structuring of the skull itself. So it seems to be some kind of elf, some kind of larger than normal elf.
Sylphs.
Yes, essentially, it is a sylph. If you feel your character would know what a sylph is, you would, by looking at the size of it and the investigation showing that it is elven in origin, you would be able to put it together and go, "Oh, this is the bones of a sylph."
How common knowledge is that? Is that really out there knowledge, or is that something I could have perhaps heard from my former life?
Yeah, that is 100% something you could have heard from your former life. They're not uncommon, but they're not as something that you see in every single market. But sylphs exist, and they are quite easy to spot out, and they're not something like a Twilight Exile, which is something that's almost mythological in its status and its rarity. But they're not something you see on every street. But you would know they exist. You may have ran into one or two. They sometimes work as protection for anything that needs protection. Gangsters. Very occasionally, you might see someone working as a bodyguard detail for a high-powered slaver.
All right. I would probably comment aloud that, just be like, sylph bones, interesting.
It is interesting decor to just have them in the middle of your living room, entertainment room, lobby.
Seems rather odd.
Probably just send a message? Question mark.
Maybe.
Could be.
Could just be a trophy from a good kill.
That too.
That seems the most likely to me.
That or a warning.
Mess with me, end up like the bones on the table.
Are my feet really that weird?
Yes.
They are a little weird, but it's okay.
They're not weird for an Ursari.
I just figured you just don't wear shoes.
I was more surprised at the lack of other clothing rather than shoes, if I'm honest with you. I mean, loincloth is a look.
I'm wearing pants.
Are you?
They're black. They match the fur.
But if
White pants is weird because it looked like I'm walking around naked all the time, wouldn't it?
But if it matches your fur, doesn't that give the same illusion? That'd be like me walking around wearing flesh tone clothing.
Well, I mean, like, it counteracts the white fur and skin, right?
I mean, I
Right?
guess it's just...
I'm kind of just wearing like a chest piece.
Yes, but you don't have genitalia that may be on display, Flipnork.
Looks down. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
sharks
I
don't
didn't draw this
have
character
those.
with pants.
What exactly should I be looking
The
for?
weird thing is, you do have pants. It's in the art.
That or it's a belt.
That's just a belt. He's wearing a belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fucking weight trainer belt.
So he's just
It's
got
a
a belt on. He's got no
jock
pants.
strap.
He's just got a belt.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just ripped muscle.
It's like that fucking Hulk Hogan weight belt.
Okay. New law on Flipnork: no pants, weight trainer belt, but no pants. Okay.
Tail?
You don't have.
Is there a tail? There's no tail. Okay.
No tail. No tail.
But that does presumably mean there is a shark ass.
Yes, there must be a hole for you to defecate from.
Exactly.
I just figured he barfed up his waist.
But no penis, because sharks don't have penises.
No peanut.
He's like a Ken doll.
Well, Hex, on the spot, you're gonna have to tell me how my species reproduces.
You don't. You haven't been told. Your parents didn't tell you.
What
You're still too young.
dramatic answer. The answer that basically means "fuck you." I'll write something later.
Yeah, your parents didn't tell you how your species mated.
Yep.
You
Does
were
that mean you just
homeschooled.
understand the concept of mating?
You think it's weird things that humanoids do?
Got it.
Yeah,
Can I
they
investigate the?
just wrote
Does he
you up.
understand what a genitalia is?
Yes, you would understand what a genitalia is.
Okay. Alright, we're learning a lot.
Kara, what, you were gonna ask a question there. What was the question?
Can I investigate the obelisk?
Yes, you can investigate the obelisk. Roll me investigation.
Nope.
It looks like a large obelisk that kind of seems very out of place with the decor of the room. I can tell you that.
Is there any is there any writing on it at least?
There is, in a language that you don't understand.
Okay. I would call over to the others to see if anybody might understand what this writing is.
As you say that out loud, Cyrene turns around from the kind of conversation that she's having with Kate and blows her gum again and says, "Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to read that, and I doubt any of you are going to either."
Why is that?
Well, looking at you, like, I'm pretty sure none of you know that language. It's very rare. I mean, even me and Kate don't know it.
Don't know what the language is, or just can't read it.
We can't read it, and we haven't been able to find any record of what that language is. And trust me, we've tried.
Hmm.
Time to take Magic Initiate and get one first level spell for comprehend language.
Elena will go over.
Mm-hmm.
Does she recognize it or anything?
No.
Okay.
You go over, you take a look at it, nothing springs to mind.
I push a key on the organ.
Ding! It makes a noise. It makes a very a loud noise. It's not this is a big pipe organ. This isn't just a keyboard or anything.
Is that a sound maker?
It does make sound. I wasn't sure if it was actually, operational.
It's incredible. He presses 3 buttons.
No,
One sound? Not 3?
that's the sound of all 3 of them together.
Okay. Whoa. I wonder if I could lift this.
I doubt
Probably
you
not.
could lift that Flipnork.
I recommend that you lift that since
I
we
bet I'd get in trouble if I did, honestly.
Yeah, probably. I don't imagine the queen takes kindly to her stuff being played with in a more aggressive manner.
You hear Cyrene from the
One
corner.
more time.
Yeah, don't break that, because she'll beat the shit out of you. Trust me.
Oh. He pokes it one more time. He walks away.
I move over to Elena and I ask her if she is okay, because I know that she was stuck in a rather embarrassing situation.
Yeah.
And I just want to know if she's doing okay, and it wasn't our intention to force her into that kind of situation in a prolonged manner.
Well, I will say Flipnork's never getting to control the chair again.
I did great.
I wouldn't say ever, because he is quite strong and he could be useful in that manner.
I meant in certain situations, but yes, I'm fine.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Hector gives a glance towards 17.
To alleviate some of the more finer details, we interacted with the dragons. and it did not go well.
Cyrene shouts over from the other side. Yeah, no, they tried to talk to him, and I'm pretty sure they were this close to starting a fight. Is that true? Were you, in fact, that close to starting a fight?
Yes, it was. I would say it was fairly close. Though that was not the intention.
You need to be careful about how you operate around those individuals there. They're criminals at the end of the day. If they get a whiff of us trying to cause problems, they're going to try to kill us.
Frere would go into his pocket and pull out the card for Dick. And look at it some more. And kind of look up at the group and basically just be like, I mean, I kind of have a bone I can throw their way. Might get us on their good side.
What do you mean, a bone you can throw their way?
Well, you know, they might be interested to hear about how a certain someone is looking for ways to crush them.
Wait, sorry, please repeat what you've just said. You're trying to... are you going to... Who? What?
The Seven Dragons, you know, we had you and I, you were there, front and center, Hector, certain interaction with a certain individual.
Yes,
who,
the dirtbag.
Yeah, well, you know, he kind of has the card in his hand and is playing with it with his fingies, with his claws, little bear claws.
No, Freya, I don't know. Please just tell me what you're considering.
I mean, I'm considering just extending a nice olive branch to, what's his name? The guy that killed, William Wallace.
Who?
What was his name? What was the guy's name that I fought in the ring?
William Wallace.
William Wallace? Maximum.
I figured I just fought Braveheart.
Oh, yeah, just the guy from Scotland.
Yeah, I fought a guy from Scotland, right? What was his name?
Maximon. He's supposed to be a play on Gladiator.
Wallace.
I fought Braveheart, okay?
I don't know how you fought Braveheart from Gladiator, but okay, yeah.
Maximon. I just forgot the name. I was like, William was Wallace was the name I thought. I was like, that's not right, but I'm gonna go with it.
Okay.
Charles Wallace.
Charles Wallace. Charles Entertainment Cheese. Oh shit. Okay, so he kind of holds up he's like, I'm gonna potentially try and reach out to Nodachi. Not Nobunaga, but Nodachi himself, since he seems to be the one that has the biggest problem with me. Be a nice guy and just offer up information he may already have, but as a sign of good faith.
But what information do you plan on giving him, is what I'm asking, Freya.
Well, we know that Raimundo is looking to collect people from here to eventually crush the 13s and the 7 dragons and take their stuff.
Yes,
That is something he's plotting against, and we also know that there is a certain individual who is looking to get him off the streets.
He crosses his arms to this and says, okay, I understand the point you're trying to make, but what makes you think that Nodachi will believe you?
It's not so much that I think he'll believe me, but more so, I'm not gonna kill that guard, and at most, I'm just gonna tell him to not be so obvious about shit. But if it becomes a concern to the 7 dragons, they might be able to utilize, looks at the card closer, like, might be able to utilize Dick better than we could.
God, I hate you, Hex.
Well, I don't know. I utilize dick pretty well.
I hate you so much.
Love this is the stories that I made.
You're such a piece of shit.
Hector, arm still firmly crossed, says, "Listen, if you want to do that, I'll support you, but I think we just need to be very wary with our reactions and how we interact with the Seven Dragons if they're already pissed at us."
Well, if it's because you guys tried to get too close to things, if I just, call out to Nodachi and let him come to me and just extend the olive branch, nothing insidious or heinous or aggressive in any sort of demeanor or way, he may at least know that we're not an active threat to him, which is better than him thinking that we're an active problem.
True.
And if it gives us a chance to get rid of Raymond, then I am always down for that.
I do think we need to be careful. That Raymond fellow, while he is the epitome of scumminess, I agree. There's no way that he rocked into that meeting with no actual guards, and no one did anything to him. Does that not strike you as suspicious?
Oh, it definitely is. But that's why I think that if the Seven Dragons do take this a bit more personally, then chances are they'll be better equipped to remove him from his current position. And if they can't, well, then they're still not a problem for us anyway.
Like I said, I will support you if you wish to do it, but just be careful with any interactions with those people and be wary that striking a deal with one of them against another could provoke some kind of hostility that we may not be prepared for. Remember, we're not a gang, we're a military unit.
And for nods, and he
Dang, gnarly one.
yeah. We're an Harley gang. And Fur's got, a smile. Might not be the most confident smile, but he's smiling. Like, I will do my best.
And this Hector sits down onto the sofa.
Yeah.
Cyrene.
Looks at Freyr and asks, "Do you think it would be like?" Oh Jesus, my mic went all the way over there because it's the new one. Do you think it would be like rude if I was to like lay down on the couch flat?
Yes.
Probably.
Oh, okay. I'll just sit on it regularly then. Wait, so that middle thing is a table, right?
That's a table.
Because of all
Bare ass on the table.
yeah,
He just sits on the table. Fuck.
because all the colored circles. I couldn't tell.
I might just. I'm gonna fucking turn them off for a second because you don't need them. Turn off the C part of it. There you go. Jesus. You can't see this. You shouldn't be able to see the circles now.
I can.
Yeah, I still see. Okay, there he goes.
We lost Freyr, then I still see mine.
I've turned yours off. You can't see them. I turned the C off.
I can definitely see mine.
Oh, fuck you. Deal with it.
I can still see mine too, but I have no reason to turn mine off for myself.
Yeah. But yes, Cyrene makes her way over past the group and towards Tox, and is very obviously leaning against the obelisk and looking at you, Tox.
Can I help you with something?
Well, you get a bit chummy with the big guy, the big, ugly, evil guy. So, yeah.
Good old Uncle Raymond, yep.
Oh God, did he say that to you? That's gross.
Can Frere hear this?
Yeah.
Frere just turns and looks, eyebrow raised.
I was hoping to get something more, out of him information-wise. He clearly has a thing for elves, and,
Yeah, he does.
I gesture to my ears. I'm kind of in his tag, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it does. You're very much up his fetish street.
So trying to get something out of him seemed like my kind of job.
Just be careful, because you may be trying to get something out of him, but he's trying to get something in you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Frere looks even more concerned.
She turns her head and looks at you and says, "Hey, bear boy, conversation here. Stick out of it."
Turns back around, scratches behind one of his ears.
Listen, if you're gonna try to mess with Raymond, as your kind of little companion party group here have worked out, he's got connections. That's why he can just rock up in a situation like that without any guards. Did you see how many the rest of them had? I mean, even the fucking industrialists had guards. But Raymond rocked in with his entourage of elven wives, does quotation marks at the word wives, and didn't even have to have a single armed guard. So you might want to think about why he could do that.
I'm not scared of becoming a martyr if it's for a good cause. But unless I know I could kill him, then I probably wouldn't make a strike.
Oh, hun, martyrdom is not a good look on anyone.
Might not be, but if it gets one scumbag out of the world...
Frere will stomp his feet at that one.
All right.
Very loudly.
He's trying to get involved in the but Bear Boy, what do you want? What are you doing over here, Bear Boy?
He glares over at Tox and is just like, "I'm not gonna let you throw away your life for something stupid like that."
If giving my life saved 1,000 other people, I feel like it'd be a worthwhile death. Not that it would be my first option, but I'm just saying.
Frere's just, that's not good enough.
Fact of the matter is, even if you killed that guy, like, just offed him then and there, and you died, you think you're saving 1,000 people? There are, like, hundreds, if not thousands of people like Raymond that will just step into his shoes and fill the power void.
Yeah, that's inevitable anyway.
Yeah, so maybe don't throw your life away to get rid of one when there are a bunch of others coming.
There'd be a bunch of others coming regardless. If you take him
Yeah.
down in a more legit way, or in a larger confrontation, somebody else would take his place anyway. If the Siren Queen were to die tomorrow, another Siren Queen would likely come take her place. Everyone's replaceable. It just matters what good you can do in that time.
The moment you say that, there's like a sharp smirk that appears on Siren's face. Like, the moment you say, if the Siren Queen dies, it's like, oh, hun, trust me. First and foremost, that ain't happening anytime soon. And secondly, if the Siren Queen dies, ain't no one able to take over her shoes. You'll see what I mean. I better actually go and see if she's ready for you. I don't want to keep you nice boys and girls waiting, so just feel free to have a sit down. I'll be back in a tick. She
Right.
makes her way over towards the big ornate door, goes through it. You are unable to see into that room.
Hex, I sent you a quick message.
Yes and yes.
Okay. Then I shall do so.
Yes. Tell the boys and girls what you're doing.
I am going to investigate this mark.
So, you notice a mark on the floor. You go over to that mark on the floor. Roll me an investigation. You have probably noticed when you walked in, maybe by looking down, that there appears to be a glowing blue mark carved into... It doesn't look like it's carved into the floor. It looks like it's carved into the space slightly above the floor. Like, what you're staring at is confusing you and confusing your systems because it doesn't look like it's scientifically possible. It seems to be that this marking is not on the floor, but is somehow carved into air, hovering above the floor. It looks kind of like a weird kind of cut, stylized P shape, almost. But it is glowing blue. That's what you get.
Okay. Can I do an Arcana check on it?
Yes, you can do an Arcana check on it. There is definitely something magical about this. You can't pinpoint what kind of magic, but you feel that, like, first and foremost, looking at where it is, you can tell that the only thing that would be able to cut through air above solid ground and cut through air at all would be some kind of magic. But you do tell that beyond looking at it, the more you inspect it and the closer you get, you feel the raw kind of sense of magic or arcane nature about it. You're not quite sure what kind of school it is or what the purpose might be, but you can tell with the raw sexual energy. You can tell that this is purposeful. That this isn't just a magical mark thrown on the ground. No, there is purpose for the magic being put on this part of the ground in this room like this and the runic shape that it is. As you're looking at this, you kind of out of the corner of your peripheral vision notice that Kate is smiling at the fact that you've noticed this.
I look over at her and I ask curiously what it's supposed to be.
Well, it's magic. I mean, well, okay. It's not magic, because magic doesn't really exist. It's just high-powered psionic science, is really what it is. But at that point, it's so out of our understanding, we might as well just call it magic. Does that answer your question?
What's it supposed to do?
She gives you a smirk and says, "And why do you think you should know?"
Just curiosity, just trying to learn things.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful, because curiosity has killed many cats.
I guess it's a good thing I'm not a cat.
Killed
No,
many
you're
awoken, too.
I guess that's a risk I'm willing to take. I have to learn things somehow.
Just don't get too touchy or questioning about it. It's something maybe better to leave for now. It's not really my place to say. Right.
Okay.
As that conversation happens, Cyrene comes back out and says, "Yeah, right, she's ready for you whenever you want to go in." So she steps aside and gestures towards the big door.
And he will march his way very, very earnestly, but he's clearly got purpose in his walk.
Roll me a
Gotta-
perception check when you get that close to the door, Freya. You notice that above the door there seems to be a stone carving of a dragon's head. That's all you
That's
say.
what kind of dragon it is.
You, with a perception roll of 10, no. If you want to investigate it more, then like you actually stop and look at it and try to take into account what it is, I may be able to tell you more. But with a perception of 10, it's just a stony dragon.
No, he'll just take that it's a dragon, and we'll move forward.
Okay, well, time for me to reveal that room, and then therefore reveal the individual inside it. As you walk in, you see a very fine dining table that covers most of the room, and many chairs of fine craftsmanship over each side. Each one of the chairs seems to be perfectly spaced, and each one seems to have a full set of knives, forks, spoons, and a dinner plate in front of it. The person sitting right at the back in a very different chair, more of a throne than a chair, is what you presume to be the Siren Queen herself. You can tell that this is an elfin-like individual that seems to have very pale, purpley blue skin. They appear to have two very different coloured eyes and adorned with a large amount of fur that seems to be draped over their shoulders. They also seem to have very dark purple hair and some kind of ornaments attached to the side of their head. One would presume that this is the Siren Queen.
Where will stand fully upright, shoulders kind of is that, like almost at attention, but not.
Mm-hmm.
And will introduce himself very what is it? Very clearly. He will very clearly, yeah, she skins her Saurians very clearly and just say, yes, I am Frere.
She gives you kind of like a side-eye glance of you don't say, almost.
Like, I don't usually meet people of royalty.
I thought you were gonna say people of color for some reason.
What's that group? People of your skin color?
Blue people.
I didn't think he was gonna say. I thought he was gonna say I'm not used to speaking to people there for a second.
All these other people with me, they're not people. No,
We're not real. We're just figments of his imagination.
Yeah, I'm not used to speaking to royalty. Not really something I've ever done.
You would notice that in her right hand she seems to have a martini glass that seems to be filled with a green-hued liquid that seems to be radiating energy of itself. She swirls this in her hand a moment, takes a big sip from it, and says, "Well, Frere, who rarely meets people of royalty, please take a seat anywhere you want. The same goes to the rest of your motley crew. Please sit down wherever you wish to."
Or will take this seat right to her right and say, "Is this seat available for me?"
Darling, all the seats are available. Just pick a seat and sit down.
As I pass this one, I would like to also investigate it.
Roll me investigation. That's a mark that looks vaguely similar to the other one in the sense that it's carved into air above the ground and it's glowing the exact same color. You do notice that this is a very different image. This is almost like a pitchfork but upside down. And again, you notice that it's very purposeful. It's very purposefully in the corner of that room, but it's very different to the position of the other one. You do feel some kind of energies coming from it, but then you do hear the voice of the Siren Queen shout out to you, 17, there'll be time for that later. Please sit down, I'm starving.
He's not going to say it out loud, but Flipnork is trying to create symmetry at the table with him sitting at the opposite end of Frere on the opposite side.
I was just taking note of what appears to be some kind of runes or whatever they are. I was just curious about them was all.
I understand, but please. He notices that Tox is standing in the corner. I'm sorry, do you not want to sit down?
These kinds of fancy dining arrangements don't really suit me.
Well, unless you wish to eat standing up, dear, I would ask that you sit down at the very least. Why don't you sit next to your boyfriend?
We're not.
Frere's ears twitch.
Oh, sorry. She like with the glass in one hand points towards the two of you. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed, the closeness. I didn't mean to make a social faux pas. I just assumed because, the
Can't
palpable
psionics
sexual
mind?
tension. Yes, psionics can read minds if they connect to the people.
Mhm.
In
To be
fact,
fair.
do me a favor, Tox. Roll me a wisdom save.
Alrighty.
What are your surface level thoughts when she mentions to you, "Sorry, I thought this was your boyfriend"?
Mm.
I guess confusion,
Mm-hmm.
not really knowing. So, I've interacted with enough psionics probably to know they can read minds, right?
Yes.
So then her first thoughts would be, okay, is she drawing that from me or from him?
Hmm.
Followed by confusion as to, what does it matter which one she drew from if they both have the same result?
Hmm.
And then followed by, I really don't want to sit down, this doesn't feel right.
Darling, please, just sit down. This isn't some ruse to murder you. I'm not going to poison you or have gunmen come from either side of the doors and blow you all away. I just wish to have a meal. I've only been drinking today, so I should really have something.
I can assure you that that is not the reason I'm having trouble.
I'm assured, but please, the rest of my guests are sitting down.
Very well.
Static.
Pathetic. I
I
think
stand behind the chair very hesitantly.
You stand behind the chair gently. Okay, then. Okay.
her kind of looks back at Tox, doesn't say anything, but kind of just like looks back and just
She's probably sweating.
yeah.
Ooh.
Like, bitch, would you just sit down?
Well, he looks at her and he kind of like mumbles to himself, mumbles to himself, like, "Please sit."
Check for positions. Elena, are you sitting right at the very end of the table, or have you like moved the chair aside so that your wheelchair can be sat right?
Yeah,
at the table?
she's moved. She'll have like used mage hand and just like scoot it over, and she'll sit there.
You notice the eyes of the queen fall upon to you, and she says, bold move to sit upon the other end of the table. Is it that you want to have that position of power, or are you deliberately trying to keep yourself away from the rest of your companions?
Just figure the more interesting shows over here.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Right. Time to fail.
Wisdom.
Well, I just want to know how interesting a show Flipnork is.
Right,
Yeah,
so
there we go.
when she asks you, is it a show of power or is it that you're trying to stay away from your friends? And you say that, what are you actually thinking? Like, what are the thoughts going through your mind when she says, is this a display of power or are you trying to stay away from your friends?
She meant what she said. She thinks it's a good position to have in the room to watch how things go, watch how people react and such, and keep an eye on her.
Okay.
She was
Yeah.
honest.
Yes, that may be, but you can see that there's reasoning. There's a show of sitting at a specific seat. That's why I ask people to sit down. You always learn a lot about a person where they choose to sit on a table like this. Be they choose to sitting on the right side of the host or hostess, the left side, or anywhere in between. How far do they distance themselves away from the host? Do they sit in a specific seat for a reason? Or are they just sitting down?
you look in Flipnork's mind, and it's just three Flipnorks doing this.
I She doesn't need to look in your mind to know that that's what's going on in your mind. No one needs to look in your mind to know that's going on in your mind. She then takes a drink from the glass again and says, "Right, so what does everyone want to eat? We'll go over you." Points to Freya. "What do you want to eat, dear?"
He looks at the. He looks to the Silent Queen. He's like, "Queen's choice."
"No, I asked you. What do you want to eat?"
He's like, "Well, got any nice cuts of meat? I guess."
"What kind of meat are you looking for, dear?"
Maybe a little gamey. Hard to get, exotic.
"I can get some marrow for you if you wish."
Why do what a Marin thing?
Parents are gamey.
Dude, fucking fucking eat the Marinth meat.
Eat
And
the
Zero always wanted to, but no, we had to bury the fuck.
Does Fred know that Marinth are a group of people?
Yes. Well, no, tell you what. Roll me an intelligence. The straight intelligence. I'm gonna say if you know that Marinth are in fact like said. No, you think they're just sheep.
Sure. I don't know what Marinth is or what they taste like, but yeah, sure, why not?
This is perfect. Oh, this is great.
You're a terrible person.
This is
He doesn't know what Marinth is.
Not
so
you.
happy. I'm
Not
so
you.
fucking happy.
I'm so happy. That's like my funnest nat one. Tops. Roll me an intelligence. Oh! You
Oh my
also don't
God.
know what
Oh.
This is great. No one knows what a marif is, so you're just all happy to eat it. Right, okay.
May I roll?
Roll an intelligence. You also don't know what a marif is.
Yeah, but in fairness, I had a 1. Oh, maybe you had a 0.
Oh my god. 17!
Of
You
course-
are
of
aware
course,
that
computer.
a mammoth
No.
is a mammoth is a sentient sheep-like person. But they are in fact sentient. They are aware. They have thoughts, they have feelings, they have personal lives. You say nothing, you just let them eat it.
Fur has expressed that he doesn't know what a Marinth is, but sure, why not?
You are aware that a Marinth is a sentient creature, correct? It would be like someone requesting to eat an Asarian.
Wait, what?
I have some Asarian if you want that instead.
Wait, what? Do you have anything gamey and exotic that's not sentient when alive?
See, that's not fun, but, I mean, I may have some Galatean Void Wolf for you.
Oh,
It's
that'd
very
be fun.
hard to get, but I'm more than welcome to share some with my guests.
I will gladly take a piece of that then.
Wonderful. You, down there, Shark Boy, what do you wish to eat?
Marinth.
He wants to eat. He wants to eat Lava Girl.
Oh no!
Boom, chicka, bow, wow.
I don't understand that reference.
Based on
What
the
do you-
fact, based on the fact they had
Well-
kids, he probably did eat Lava Girl.
What do you got?
What do you want to eat, dear?
Oh my, that's broad. Something meaty.
What meaty would you like to eat?
Fry. I'm not picky to.
No, what do you want to eat, you blumbering moron?
I thought in Salo sapien culture you eventually eat your parents.
No, they don't eat their parents.
I don't. I wouldn't eat Mama Nork.
No.
What?
Then I was told something very incorrect.
The moment you say that, like a drunken aunt at a party the queen takes a sip from the drink and says, "No one wants to eat Mama Nork."
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Yes?
For some of us, you might want to check out Nas.
Nas. Oh shit! Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, no, I'm seeing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and if developments
Yeah.
happen, we might need to stop. But
I'm assuming
Yeah, I just
assuming that's for what was posted.
no, it's something
No.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, she just posted about
Oh
it
yeah,
in
yeah,
general.
yeah. It is posted
They
in
just
general.
posted about it in general.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that, and if I feel we need to stop to try and help with things, I'll call that. But yeah.
Yeah. I just figured I'd let everybody know because
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. If I feel that needs to be focused on, we'll stop. Where was I? Yeah. So Flipnork, what do you want to eat?
Listen, real Devon doesn't know foods, so this
that's
is me tough
true.
time.
This is where you Google what do sharks eat.
Fuck.
Yeah, they eat Marins.
Yeah. Just pick like smaller fish, my dude.
Think of a fish.
Do you
Salmon.
have like sea lions?
Yes, we may have some actually. Could get that for you.
Oh, a lot of people do.
Well, my repertoire of food is greater than well, your average pantry, so she then looks down to Elena. And what brain will you be dining on this evening, miss?
Do you have Wagyu cow brain?
I have cow brain. We can make it into ragu.
Wagyu.
Everyone's pushing for What about you, just a car, with your glowing eyes? What would you wish to dine on? He kind of looks around like anything. No, I've asked the others what they wish to eat. I'm asking you what you want to eat. You kind of just go silent. It's like, just literally anything. Just get me literally anything. I'll eat anything.
That's a dangerous game you're playing, Hector.
I'm not used to deciding what to eat. I usually just take what is available. She takes a drink and smirks at this and says, "Yes, ever the good soldier, you'll eat only the rations they present to you. I'll get something for you. And last but not least, Miss Talks, who stands behind her chair. What would you like to eat?"
There is a choice.
Yes, you can have whatever you wish.
Right. Hold on as my player flatlines.
I never knew asking you all what you'd like to eat would be such a hard question.
I love playing a character that isn't required to eat anything.
Listen, I had mine ready.
Brains.
Hey, wagyu cow brains.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Is there any limitation on what we eat?
She places her elbow on the table and rests the the kind of chin cheek area on the hand, on the back of the hand, near the knuckles, and looks at you with a smirk of a smile and says, "Whatever you wish to eat."
So if I said something extravagant and made of chocolate, that would be acceptable.
Yes, of course it would be. Why
Then-
worry about the main course when you can have dessert?
Precisely.
Anything particular in mind, or should I just think of the most extravagant chocolatey indulgence that I could think of?
Yeah, that surprised me.
I am going to need you to actually sit down to dine, though. You have my permission, please.
One Butterfinger.
Rolling this for myself.
A bowl of cereal.
Okay, listen, but if it was like old school Butterfingers, like that would be the shit. They changed Butterfingers and that ain't good anymore.
What do they taste like? What are they?
It's just like chocolate with peanut butter and like a wafer type of thing. It used to be good, but then they changed it up and like I don't know.
I don't know what half of that tastes like.
Way to go, Caitlin.
Anyway, so, as you've all now discussed what you want, she turns to 17. Sorry, dear, I didn't ask because most awakened that I entertain prefer not to eat. Are you amongst those that choose not to eat? Should I perhaps bring you something?
No, that's fine. I don't require anything.
Fair. She takes a drink. She looks down at Cyrene, who's at the other end. Cyrene, please ensure that our guests get what they want. Bear in mind it will take a few moments. I can't just vanish these things in the air. Would any of you want something to drink? I have some fine wines and a range of alcoholic beverages if you would like some.
And Prayer just kind of like gestures with the "Nah, I'm good." Like, I'm okay.
Water, dear?
Sure. Water.
Perhaps I can get you a soda.
Water will be good. Thank you.
Sippy cup.
A sippy cup. Some juice, perhaps.
I will go. I'll take apple juice.
Apple juice.
Oh my god.
Hey. What
Pull one
about
out.
the
Okay,
rest?
no. It
Pull one
literally wasn't a joke, but like I was just thinking of something Elena would drink.
I
What
feel
about
the sudden
this?
urge to pour my apple juice out on the floor in respect.
What would the rest of you like to drink while we wait? I can prepare that much quicker than the food.
How about a glass of a nice Merlot?
Ah, it seems that we do have a fine diner amongst the group of you. Chocolate and Merlot, a lady after my own heart. Please, Cyrene, make sure that we have a good range, a good year for her. What about the Shark Boy? What would you like to drink?
Pineapple juice.
Pineapple juice it is.
Elena's close enough. He looks at Elena and whispers, "I didn't think that would work."
She said, Elena's not even gonna bother to whisper and just be like, she said, ask anything.
I know, but like so far, there's not been a no. It's weird.
So, please, my gathered guests, I've brought you here because you seem very interesting. It's not every day that I have a group of AAF members waltz into an underground fight ring, let alone have one of those members participate in a fight. So, please, tell me about yourselves. You, gestures towards 17. What brings you here? What brings any of you here?
What brings me here, honestly, is, it's rather cliche and lackluster, but it's a means to an end, and just trying to find who I am, where I belong, and it seemed that this was the easiest way to get there because it allowed me to go places where I otherwise could not easily get to on my own.
Roll me a wisdom save. What are your thoughts as you're answering this question?
The thoughts are pretty much what they say they are. They're literally trying to find who they are. Like, they're trying to find, they don't feel as though they are who they are. They don't feel whole. Like there might be something missing, and they're trying to find what that missing thing is.
Okay, interesting.
And that's the most surface thought.
And if she was to pry deeper below the surface, what do you believe is below the surface of that thought?
Below the surface thought, they might not think that they are an iron forge.
Interesting.
That somehow they ended up in this body.
Interesting.
And that is why they don't feel whole.
You notice that the Queen smirks of you as you answer this. And it's very interesting that you just openly speak the truth, but then hide something beneath the truth. It's a clever game, that, to speak openly and honestly, but to hide something in the honesty. What about you, Tox? Why are you here? Why are you accompanying this ragtag group of ne'er-do-wells with hearts in the right places?
Well, one of the reasons is him, and I just here to prayer. He got himself in kind of a situation, and it kind of dragged us all here.
Oh, no,
But,
dearie, that's not what I mean. I don't mean why are you in this place. I mean, why are you here? Why are you part of this group?
I don't feel that there's really anything. It seemed like the better option between this or, jail time.
Roll me a wisdom save. What is as you're answering that, specifically answering to do with why why you're here, as in why you're part of this group, not why you in the underground. What's the surface level thought behind that? Like, what are you thinking the moment you're saying those words?
Well, the first thing that probably came to mind when asked why she was a part of the AAF would have just been, surface level would have been to kill more slavers, obviously.
And what's underneath that?
Kind of just memories of her upbringing, her past life, and wanting to prevent that kind of thing from happening to other people. That would be the deeper motivation in her mind.
Okay. Interesting. I think I understand now. How about you, big bear boy? Why are you here?
Where kind of just looks up and was like, well, at the time, it's because Fox was going to join the AF instead of going to prison. And some things have changed since then. My purposes, both due to conversations and revelations had with not just Fox, but a couple of these other people. Now it's just like I said down in the pit, and he looks like unwaveringly at her. Like it's like I said down in the pits now. I'm going to become the strongest, and I'm going to break everyone's chains that stand with me.
Roll me a wisdom save. What's the surface level thought of that?
The surface level thought in that is it still is just his biggest his surface level thoughts is like first he needs to be stronger, especially because his thoughts are currently back on Tox saying that she would martyr herself.
Mm-hmm.
And his surface level thought is like, I'm not strong enough, I need to be stronger so that she never has to do something like that.
And what's the thought beneath that? Like the
So
deep, dark thought underneath. Well, not dark, but the deep thought underneath the base.
so the deeper thoughts beyond that, I imagine she would see and hear. It would start with like the conversation he had with Maximon, followed by the him holding Tox while she was basically dying, and then it would flash further to when he was a bear cub, seeing a cosmic dragon.
Okay. I see. You are a bear man of determination. I like that. That's what secondly interested me in you walking in. And then she looks over to Hector. And brave Justicar, why are you here? Why does a man broken of body and fractured of mind lead a group of chained down individuals into the depths of a war that they don't fully understand? He kind of goes quiet a moment and looks at the planes, goes, why do you want to know? She takes a drink. Well, the fact of the matter is that you've all interested me multiple times, be it for the fact that an AAF group is waltzing into the underground and has the balls to do so. Then your bear boy, Freya's outwardly hopeful chant of join me and we will rise together, or don't and there may be consequences. And then as soon as you entered this place, I started to look upon you a little bit more and saw the tapestry of your beings and the reasoning behind them. And I can work with individuals like you. I have a reason for wanting to work with individuals like yourselves. And in doing so, I can aid you and give you not the things you want. I am not someone that caters to the whims of children, but give you the things that you actually need. It's funny how most of you actually require a similar or same thing. Two of you, in fact, require almost the exact thing. And then there's individuals that don't require the exact same thing, who require special treatment, who require something else, who require an understanding of who they are, and the fact that their place in this world is not defined by people who try to make their place in it, or try to bend or break them into a different place, but a place of their own seat at my table. Glances over towards Tox with her eyes as she says this. So, Justicar, why are you here? He takes another moment and he says, I'm here because this is the right way to protect and help as many people as I can. He's gonna make a wisdom save. Where is his sheet? There's his sheet. And he fails. And she peers into his mind as well. As she does this, Cyrene will reappear. Move her back onto the right place. She reappears with a tray of drinks and starts to pass them around. Goes over to Eleanor first. Then she goes over to Tox. When she comes over to you, Tox, she passes you an entire bottle of wine and a glass that's kind of sitting on the top of the wine. You would notice that the label states Hyperion 1872. And we'll put it on the table for you. Goes over to Freya. Passes Freya something exactly that he asked for. And then goes over to the Queen herself and gives her a new martini glass full of the strange green liquid. She will pass what seems to be just like a glass of water to Ector, and then make her way finally down to Flipnork. Flipnork, you do not get a glass. You get a juice box.
Yeah, pineapple juice box.
It's got a picture of a pineapple on it wearing sunglasses, and it's saying "Drink me" with thumbs up.
Whoa, dog! I will drink you.
Then Cyrene disappears, and the Queen.
Obnoxious straw sounds. He's like looking around, beady-eyed.
I need to contact Vexy and say, hey, I got a really, really weird commission request here. Right,
Yeah, exactly.
I need you to draw this shark man, but that's not the weird part. This is the weird part. The weird part is I need him to be sitting in a dining chair in a fancy dining room, surfing on a juice box that has a pineapple on it, wearing sunglasses, saying, drink me. Blocked. Oh.
Yeah.
You now all have your ensemble drinks, and she looks down the very bottom of the table and looks at Eleanor and goes,
That's Flipnork's brain.
Let's do this.
Yes, that's very much.
Oh, that's two things that you click on. Oh, god damn it, the pineapple! I opened myself up to this.
Yes. So
Fucking did it. I thought it was intentional.
Fair point.
She looks down.
Oh, Jesus.
She looks down to the other head of the table to Eleanor and goes, how about you, dear? While I get to enjoy the first sip of my new drink, why don't you tell me why you're here?
This is the easiest way for me to be able to seek out what happened to my parents.
Wisdom save, please.
Jesus. Let's see how this goes. Come on, Nat 20.
I don't think any of you are actually capable of passing it. Well, actually, no. Yeah, even if you if you nat 20'd, I would say because it's a nat 20 that you pass it. But if you nat 20, you technically wouldn't pass it.
Yeah, that's what I've been figuring.
Yeah.
Like, because just from the description of this person,
the DC
ain't no way.
Is a 23.
So only Tara can pass it. Oh no, Kara can pass it too.
Yeah, Tara and Kara could both. Well, Kara is the one person that wouldn't need a nat 20 to pass it.
Yeah.
Kara could hypothetically get a 19 and pass it. But so what is the surface level thoughts that you're having as you're answering that question? Like, what's the things that are going through your mind on the surface level?
She's just being very honest about that. She views the ATF as basically the best way that she can function and seek out her parents.
Okay. And what's below that? Like, what are the hidden thoughts underneath that? Like, if you're the top thoughts are, yeah, the AAF is the best way to find my parents. What's underneath that?
Underneath that
Mm-hmm.
is a need for orders.
Is a need for orders. Is a need to be
Yeah.
told what to do. Need to be
Yes.
given something to do. Ah, okay, interesting. She gives a smirk and drinks a good chunk of her drink and says, You're all very, very interesting people. But I think there is a need for honesty. I think everyone needs to be a little bit honest with each other. So, how about talks? Why don't you be honest with the people here and tell them why you didn't want to sit down?
I don't think that's necessary.
Oh? Why?
I do the fighting just fine. Nobody needs to know about that.
Well, I think if these are going to be your companions, they're going to be your family, then I think perhaps you actually do. You do need to be honest with them. Roll me a charisma save. You are compelled to tell the truth. You cannot tell a deliberate lie. You've been hit by a zone of truth. You know what that
Whoa.
is. 'Cause
I gathered that much, yeah.
yeah.
What was the question?
So, tell the group your new family why it is that you felt that you couldn't sit down, that you are trying not to sit down.
And then she would just blurt out, because servants don't sit at the table, and then immediately cover her mouth.
Trey would look at Tox with like open mouth eyes, like in shock, and then look at Myra, do some double takes on both of them.
Now, dear, it's okay. You don't need to feel that way. You're not a servant here. None of you are servants here, nor are you slaves. You are not tools or weapons of war. You are individuals. You are your own people. She immediately fixates her eyes on Tox and locks vision with her. You are not anyone's property, miss. You are yourself. And trust me when I say you don't need to murder thousands of greedy bastards to reclaim your own individuality and right of self. It's fun, though. I will give you that.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. So much fun. I spent so much time enjoying it. I think about it all the time.
See,
And then she would cover her mouth harder.
See, this is the honesty that I want. This is the honesty that you need. You need to be honest with one another if you're going to work together. Yes, I can help that honesty go along a little bit more. But sooner or later, you need to be able to do it yourself. How about you, 17? Now, I know that's not your real name, and I know that you know that's not your real name. Why don't you tell the nice people about what you're really scared of deep down inside, under those surface thoughts? Roll me a charisma save, Kara. You pass! You have somehow managed to break the Siren Queen, and you feel that something was edging its way into your mind, trying to remove your ability to lie. And you can tell it was her trying to do it.
I don't know. I don't know why it is that you're trying to force us to tell everybody things that we're either unready or unprepared or uncomfortable with saying on our own. I don't know if this is a thick game of yours, if this is just for amusement, but I told you what I told you,
She
and that was the truth.
she glares at you because she knows that you've broken her ability, and by now the zone of truth on you talks obviously stopped the moment it tried to go on to 17. She puts down her drink, and you sense a shift in her personality. You sense a shift in her being. She was kind of doing this almost jokingly, I want to get to know you, kind of drunk aunt kind of thing. But you know that shifts almost completely. Almost like she's coming out a different person. But she locks eyes with you now, having traded over from Tox. And she goes, well, since you don't want to be honest, the fact of the matter is you all do need to be honest with one another. And if I have to give you the push to be honest, then you need the push to be honest.
I never said I didn't want to be honest, but being forced to be honest is a completely different thing. Being forced against our will to tell things that we aren't ready to tell is not the way to go about things either.
The phrase, we aren't ready to tell, is just a constant. It's something you'll keep telling yourselves in the vain attempt that sooner or later a magical moment will arise that you suddenly feel comfortable in sharing your deepest, darkest moments. And I'm sorry, miss, but we don't have time for that. I will.
When people who spend their lives in slavery of one form or another, they're going to think of themselves as servants, as tools, as weapons, and they're not going to just suddenly think that, oh, I'm not a servant. I'm just as equal as Hector or as Elena or as you, just because you say they are. And then to force that out of them is not fair.
No, it's not fair. And I don't expect my words to suddenly make knights out of sheep. But the fact of the matter is, I need to start you on that road. Because you need to get on that road.
Sure.
She gives you a glance, like down, and just returns her gaze and says, don't worry, Flipnog, I'll get to you later. And she shifts her point of view, looking at each and every individual. The fact of the matter is that you did all interest me for one reason or another. But another reason is the moment you all entered here, this place, this planet, I felt the stink of destiny on every one of you. There is something at play here. I don't know what, but it's something. And I know for a fact that we're in the middle of a war against someone we don't even know. We're at war with an enemy that has no name. But the fact of the matter is, that enemy is not who we're actually fighting. There is something else. And the fact that I can't work out what it is concerns me. I need you, but I need you to pull yourselves together. And I'm sorry if my powers going into your brain and pulling out what you don't want to say hastens your communication abilities. But when I say I need you together, and I need you now. I don't need you a couple of months down the line. I don't need you a year down the line. I don't need you 10 years down the line. I need you to be working together and open with one another.
But we can already work together. We can function together. I don't need to know why she is uncomfortable with being able to sit at a table with someone that she might view as better than her because she can already sit at a table with us. That has no bearing on us functioning as a team.
It doesn't. But I need you all to be the best that you can be. I need you all to look honestly at the darkness inside you and the flaws, and as your bare friend, but your chains, and I need you to understand them. Because the truth is, you can only break them when you understand them. And some of you don't even want to look at it.
But in doing what you've done, you've now created self-consciousness and doubt in some, because now we know how she feels and she doesn't know how we feel, what our dark secrets are, because you weren't able to forcefully pull them out of us.
Oh, I wasn't able to pull it out of you. She then looks down at the very bottom of the table. What about you, Anna? What is it that you want to keep hidden from these people? Or more specifically, the thing inside that eats you up? Roll me a charisma save, Anna.
I'm gonna say she's not gonna try to make the save.
Oh, so you're going to choose to just fail the save?
She's gonna choose to fail it.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's an
so
order.
you could choose to fail the save, and you just open your mind up and you allow the Siren Queen to pull the truth out of your actual mouth. So
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying it like she doesn't even need to spell her. Elena's just gonna tell the truth.
no, 'cause
She's been given an order.
She's actually cast the spell, so it's
Okay.
But
I was just meaning she wouldn't even have to try with Elena.
but she has prompted you it. So what say?
I just need orders from whoever.
Why?
Apparent. You know what to do.
Why?
And know what to do.
Why? She says as she stands up.
To know what Elena's just gonna say it again to know what to do. That is the only truth she has in her own head right now.
Yeah, no, I get that, but she's just pushing is what I'm not trying to say there's more
Oh no,
to it.
I'm
She's
just saying
pushing.
that's the only answer she can give.
She looks back at Tox and then looks to Ector and says, "You're a Justicar. You're an individual that's supposed to stand for justice. Tell me. Tell all the people here. Tell them why it is that you're really part of this group. Tell them what brought you to this place. Why you're ashamed to say it." Roll a wisdom save. He fails, and then he's kind of he's sitting at the table and he's got his hands on the side, and he looks out and says, "Because I failed, because I couldn't kill someone, and because of that, they took things from me. And now I'm just here. Is that what you want to know? Why I'm part of some Black Ops team? Why I'm swept under the military rug? Is that it? You want me to tell them that I was supposed to kill someone who was my friend? And that I couldn't do it because I hesitated. And because I hesitated, now I don't have legs anymore and I don't have an arm. And whenever anyone looks at me above my rank, they only see a failure and disgust. Is that it? Is that what you want to tell me to tell them? As silence kind of echoes out into the room, the Siren Queen sits back down and looks around the rest of you. You all need to pull yourselves together. Because I need you and you need me. Because we are in the middle of a war. But I don't think this war is actually against the people that we think it's against. There is something beneath the surface. And I think you may have an idea of what that something is. She looks at Freya. Does anything come to your mind as strange? Anything at all since you've been here?
He kind of like looks at the plate, the empty plate in front of him, and is like, I think the strangest thing to me is the events that unfolded at Accelerator Industries. The altar, the slugs, the phrase, Serpentis Imperatus.
She then places her hands. She Gendo poses. She puts her hands on it and she places her hands together and places her mouth on it. And she says, yes. I've heard that before. A very, very long time ago. Before all of you, or even a speck in this galaxy's eye. And the fact that I'm hearing it again, the fact that you're hearing it, worries me.
Her kind of just nods, and then kind of he chuckles a little bit, and was just like, and we'll look at the rest of the group and like, you know, even now, I kind of, the talk with Maximon that I had during our fight, I can't help but think all of you are still amazing people. And looks at his paws and is like, I'm still trying to figure out what makes me special.
Oh.
He smiles. He smiles like softly and looks at the rest of the group. But you guys are all amazing. Failures and all.
Tears through his eyes. You're amazing too, buddy. Oh, I lost the fucking voice there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you did.
What the fuck that was?
Don't.
No retakes.
No retakes. He looks at Hector and Tox and Elenia, the three that got the zones of truth, essentially.
Yeah.
And was just like, don't let those. Don't let those dictate your lives. I shouted it brazenly during the fight, but He clenches his little bare fists together tightly, very tightly.
His fisties.
His little fisties. Like, I want to live. I'm tired of this, and I don't know who I am. I don't know what makes me special, but it's something I can figure out as I go. He looks specifically at Tox. He's like, I want a future. I don't want you to lose yours. And then I look at him and feel like, I mean, you shouldn't be expected to kill someone that you love. No matter what's happened. And then looks down at Elenia and is just like, it's okay to not know what to do sometimes.
Hold on real quick. Devin, can you mute until you gotta talk, sweetie?
Yeah, because you're getting static out of nowhere again.
Something static there.
That's weird. I actually was muted.
Oh.
What?
Huh?
Uh-oh.
I was muted for a bit.
It didn't show you as muted on
Yeah, it didn't show you were muted.
Discord.
Yeah.
No, it didn't because I muted it from the mic.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mute your
just hit
Discord.
mute on
I-
Discord.
I bet,
That's never been an issue before.
I bet it's making the noise when he's muting it on the mic.
Yeah.
That might be it.
I don't hear it now.
I don't hear anything.
Well, I was muted, so it wasn't that then.
Huh.
Something fucking is going on. Just I don't know anymore.
Anyway.
But it's okay to not always know what to do. And it's okay to need direction from other people. But we also know you are capable for thinking on your own and of yourself. And that's something you can work to grow on. Just like how we all need to work to grow on things. Kind of just looks back at Myra and is like, we do have a war to fight and we do have something to win. But we are still people as well. We aren't
She
perfect.
stood and she sits back down as you say that you aren't perfect. You aren't perfect, Freya. None of us are. But the fact of the matter is that I need you all to be as ready as you can be.
Fur will flex his bare arms. And he smiles very wide, very confidently now. It's very confident Frere. And it's just like, and we will be. We don't have a choice. And I won't stop until I've carved out the future that I want. And same for them. I'll carve it out myself, or at least give them the tools they need to carve it out themselves. And he looks at Myra and is like, and if you're supporting us, that goes the same for you too.
Good. Because there are matters of the house that need to be fixed as well. She looks at all of you, and takes a breath and goes back to picking up the glass and takes another drink and kind of almost re-puts back up that kind of facade of a kind of drinking aunt, and will smile a moment and say, there are many things that we need to deal with. We need to get rid of and dispose along the way before you can rise to your true greatness. There are obstacles. I have already eliminated an obstacle. You need not worry about being in the procurement of that want to be hero maker. You fight now for me, Freya.
And he kind of just nods.
I will not force you to fight like that other want to be, but I would suggest that the fight continue because they are in your nature. And if you truly wish to work with these people, fighting and showing them your ability in the ring will be a way to work with them, as well as doing what they ask of you and providing assistance for one another. Simply by stepping in that ring, you prove yourself to them. But remember now, you don't fight for Adonis. You fight for the queen.
Freyr smiles and is basically just like, that's the way it should be. At least down here.
She then looks down towards Flipnork and says, you, however, on the other hand, still fight for him.
Well, I do my best.
When the time comes that I feel you might be a worthy investment, then yes, I will see about purchasing your fighting rights from him. But for now, I think it's a bit more sporting and spiriting that the two of you perhaps operate under different managers. After all, sooner or later, we'll get to see the two of you fight.
That's true. And I believe in him. And me!
Exactly, dearie. As you say this, all of you look down and your plates are now full. Those of you who asked for food, your food is now on that plate.
You look down and the table opens up to the pit of piranhas.
Yeah. Whatever you asked for is just actually magically there now. You weren't paying attention, but at some point between the big speeches that happened, your food has arrived. Everyone has exactly what they asked for. So, Freya, you have this huge lump of a steak in front of you. It's massive. It's bigger than your paw, and your paw is a big paw. And it's just drenched in this blood gouget sauce, just dripping off of it. You can still see the steam coming off from this. You can see that there's a pinkish to the meat, so it's just on the medium rare kind of level, and it's garnished with herbs and potatoes around the edges of it.
I do like potatoes.
Tox, you have this artisan dessert in front of you that seems to be one perfectly spherical scoop of ice cream on top of the most perfect triangled square of a piece of pure dark chocolate cheesecake that you could ever see, with what appears to be a chef's name kind of stenciled in chocolate sauce at the very bottom of it. This is the epitome of the finest dining dessert that you could ever see. We go down, and Elena, you sure enough, you do have your cow brain ragu on the plate in front of you, all set up in neat, precise kind of portions. But it's not like Tox's is a small portion. It's a fine dining portion. Yours isn't. Yours, like Freya's, is a big chunk of that meat of what you want. Flipnock, you have your fish.
He's gonna chow down.
You have your big plate of fish. Your plate has suddenly grown in size, you've noticed. From the first time you looked at it, it was like a dinner plate. But you look at it now, it's almost like a trough bowl of a plate filled with fish.
He's gonna lean forward and go full shark.
Just go for the face in. Yeah. Just,
like possibly shit flying out from all directions.
If anyone looks,
shit can just fly out.
If anyone looks at Ector's plate, it's a very militarized kind of a ration in front of it, almost. 17. In front of you, there is a plate of food.
It's a can of oil, specifically tens of
it. It's not a can of oil. It's an actual plate of food. The dish can be whatever you want it to be, but there is an actual plate of food in front of you. So we know that Flipnork is just full sharking it out. What is everyone else doing?
So Fur, before he does anything mistake, will like hesitantly place his right paw on like Tox's left arm.
Mm-hmm.
Just like gingerly put it down on her arm and just kind of nod. Yeah, just nod and mouth that it's okay. And then we'll use both hands to try his best to fork and knife this steak to not be a complete and total animal.
The moment you try, she looks at you and goes, I don't expect a bear to try to use a knife and fork. Please eat how you feel comfortably.
He puts both hands on the steak and brings it up to his mouth.
You go full bear! You grab it to your mouth and you're pulling at it.
Imagine picking up the knife and fork. You don't have to do that. We don't do that here. Put some back.
No. We don't do that here. Tox, what do? You've had this bear kind of reassure you. You have this like perfect, delicate kind of plate of dessert in front of you. How do you react to that?
There's cake now.
There is cake now, yes.
Cheesecake, yeah.
Slice of perfect dark chocolate cheesecake with a scoop of ice cream on the top.
I'll just post that picture. I'll let it speak for itself.
I'm gonna see this. Let me see this. Oh yeah, there you go. That's how you enjoy it. That's how you enjoy it.
Takes small bites. She pours herself a glass of the wine and would sip it, accompanying it. She's focusing more on the cake than anyone else around her, kind of drowning it out.
I like that. So, Elena, are you full chowing down like some of your companions?
No, she's just digging in like she usually does with her knife and fork and such.
Okay.
And tentacles.
No.
17. You have food. You didn't ask for food, but there's food in front of you. What do you do?
I would imagine that 17's probably just absent-mindedly poking at it because they've never eaten food. Like, they obviously see people eat food. They know how to eat food. They've just never had to. So they're not sure why it's there. So they're just kind of just poking at it.
The Siren Queen leans over to you. Her plate is almost very similar to Freya's. It's a chunk of meat, but there's a bit more garnish to it. There's more vegetables. There's more kind of side dishes around it. But she leans over to you and she goes. She whispers to you, and I'll roll a 1d20 plus 5. 17. She whispers to you and she goes, don't poke it. I want you to reach out towards it and place it towards where you think a mouth would be.
It's like he's just blowing canned air into his mic.
I just mute him whenever it happens. But yeah, so you've been told to don't poke it, pick it up and raise it towards where you think a mouth would be.
I ask her why she wants me to eat it.
Don't question it, just try it. Trust me.
Flip off noise suppression and see what happens. If it's real bad, I'll flip it back on.
Okay. So she says, don't worry about it, just trust her.
I'd take the fork and I would take the food. Damn it, it's almost constant now.
That's why I've turned them down.
Okay, let me fix that. And there you go.
So you take the fork and you take the food.
I'd take the food and I would put it where 17's mouth would be.
The moment the moment you take the fork full of food and you bring it up to where her mouth is, you taste something. You're not chewing. You're not actually chewing the food, but you taste something. You taste the food. And more than that, you remember eating food. And you remember what that food tastes like. And you get the enjoyment of tasting that food.
Is the food on the fork gone?
No, it's still there. But you get the sensation of having eaten it. Even though it's still there.
I ask her how it is I'm able to taste it without eating it.
And she looks at you a moment and says, you're not tasting it. Your brain's remembering that you've eaten this before. You're not tasting the actual food. You're tasting the memory of what it was like to eat this. You didn't ask me for any kind of food. But I remember looking into your brain, your synapses, your core, and there was a memory of this dish in there. Why would that be?
I wish I knew.
I think there's more to your awakening than you think. And I think that we'll have to find out what really happened together.
Perhaps we should find out willingly as opposed to forcefully probing through my mind.
We'll see. And she sits back and begins to eat. If people want to have like discussions of what they do as they eat, well, if they talk about anything, you're more than welcome to. If not, I will move on and we'll continue as to what happens after dinner. But I leave that up to y'all.
I look at Tox and I ask her why it is if she saw us as equals, even though Hector was in a position of authority, why she didn't view him in a position of authority and was able to sit with him.
I suppose it's just a matter of setting.
I can understand that.
Hector didn't feel unapproachable or particularly, I guess, important's the wrong word, but extravagant, I suppose.
He didn't lord it over us.
Yeah.
I would say you would notice that Ector is not eating. He's just sat there, kind of very militaristic posture, not eating, but looking at the ensemble of ration before him.
I oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I imagine Frere demolished his steak, but had messy hands as a result. So I imagine he'd actually pass his plate of potatoes over to Hector, and then excuse himself and say, "I assume there's a bathroom somewhere where I can wash up a little bit. I don't like sticky paws."
The queen takes a drink, and she says, "Yes, hold on, Cyrene." Cyrene comes in. She goes, "Could you please take the very messy bear to the bathroom, please? Messy bear, please follow her."
Messy bear. And he will look at Hector and nod that now has a plate of potatoes alongside his plate of rations.
Cyrene's gonna show you the way to the bathroom.
And Freyr was never seen from again.
Come on, bear man, I'm not holding up.
If you walk into the bathroom and it's like a Futurama death box, you just
dead. Yeah. Right. So she gestures towards that door and says, "There you go. Going on there. You'll find the facility."
Another fucking mark.
Alrighty, thank you. He waves at Serene. Does the door automatically close behind him, or can he close it?
The door does not automatically close, but it's not actually a sci-fi door. It's actually a door. So you have to open it up and you have to close it yourself.
Yeah. So I imagine he opened it up with like his elbow, and then as he got back, he kind of like moved it with his little footsie closed.
Yeah, 100%. You elbow open the door like, and then you just shut it with your feet.
Yep. And he'll kind of just clean off his hands and his face and just stare in the mirror, and his confident smile will drop back again to a look of worry, and he'll just kind of sit in the bathroom for a while.
You notice there is a big fountain in the middle of the bathroom as well.
No, that's where you pee.
That's not where you pee. You pee in the toilet like a...
No, that's where you poop.
You do both
That's
today,
that's different places.
Right.
These are two different places.
But yes, Kara, I believe there was something you was going to say, so we'll hop back over to you.
I look at Hector and I say, so I was somewhat right that they kind of stuck you with us to keep you away from your target and to give you busy work.
It's not busy work. I'm not stuck here. I chose this. They gave me an option between this and sitting in a desk, so I took this.
Well, not killing someone, whether choosing not to or being unable to, for whatever reason, I don't think makes you a failure.
That's when you're supposed to be a soldier.
No, that makes you soulless to just be able to kill someone with no regard. To be able to just point my gun at Tox and shoot her without a second thought would not make me a soldier. it would not. It would make me someone who has no regard for life. It would make me someone who has no conscience, no care, no belief in redemption, no anything. And whatever reason you had for being unable to kill your target is your own. But that doesn't make you a failure, whether they say you are, whether they look upon you like one, or whether you just think that's how they look upon you. Whether that's in your own mind or not, it doesn't actually make you one.
Roll me a persuasion.
No.
He just remains silent, and you see that he looks over at the potatoes, and he just goes, "Why did the bear slide me potatoes?"
Because you weren't eating.
I don't
And
wish.
he figured you wanted something more than what you're just accustomed to eating, which is rations, so he probably wanted you to have actual food. That's why he does the silly things that he does, where he gets chicken wings and cheese sticks and whatnot for talks, because he's always thinking of other people. So when he sees you just sitting there with a standard ration as opposed to what I have, or the sea lion that Flipnork has, or the cheesecake and ice cream that Tox has, and you just have standard military ration, he's probably like, Hector should have actual food. And he gave you his potatoes.
Hector looks up at Tox and says, "Where did you find him?"
What did you find first? What did you find the bear?
Did I find prayer?
You found him as a slave when you were killing a slave. How he protected you from the guy over your head. I imagine that's a common thing that happens.
I found him when I was doing having a little fun. He was a slave for someone.
I don't know if someone like him is meant for a fight like this.
I suppose it's up to him to decide that.
He remains quiet a moment. You can kind of see pondering. I don't want him to have to fight for this.
Would you want anybody to have to fight, regardless of the cause?
No, but you, me, like it or not, we're accustomed to the fight now.
You're right. And prayer has been alongside me for most of it. If he wants to continue, that's up to him. but I don't imagine him backing down.
Do you sometimes look at him and hope to God he doesn't turn out like us?
I feel that way about everyone.
I think you and I are too far gone for that.
Maybe. But it doesn't mean we can't stop others from going too far. And it doesn't mean that we don't have a place. Sometimes the people that are too far gone are the reason why others won't have to be that. People like us that end these kinds of fights.
You see that he kind of retreats back into himself to kind of to think. I'm pretty sure the person with the red mask was the person I failed to kill.
And if it is, we will deal with that when we get to it. For better or for worse.
But if I had killed him, those people wouldn't have died.
Then you can make it right by doing the right thing this time around.
Awkward chowing down noises.
Casually eats piece of cake.
Each piece of cake.
Obnoxious sipping noise.
I've gone back to just poking at the food.
Are you just poking it, or are you actually repeating the process of bringing it up to your lips?
At the moment, I'm just poking at it because I feel the conversation is more important.
Okay. I will say, at any point between now and the leaving of the food, if you do bring it up to your lips, you get that same feeling.
Okay.
You would get the feeling of you feel like you're eating. You feel like you're savoring the taste of whatever meal it is in front of you, but you aren't actually consuming the food. Right. As this conversation's happening, the Siren Queen reaches out to Elena and speaks to her and says, "Are you enjoying your cow brain, dear?"
Listen here,
damn
I've got a spoon and I'm ready to eat that ass like it's a bowl of Cheerios.
God damn it!
Hello, this is a YouTube sponsor. We're here to let you know that your video that isn't monetized is currently being demonetized. Is there anything would you like to appeal that?
You're just scared that you will never be able to eat ass as good as I can.
It appears there's a 10-second clip where someone in your video says you will never be able to eat ass.
Yeah, but
as
but
good
Alex,
as I can.
but Alex,
Is this the correct pronunciation?
Alex, does it haunt your dreams that you'll never be able to eat ass as good as a sun bear?
I mean, you know what? Sometimes you have to bow before the king, and you know what? The sun bears are the apex predator.
Does it hurt to know that by your own words, a sun bear could please me better than you?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh, that's on a fucking recording now. I feel like that needs to be edited out.
I'm just gonna put it out here to say it. Any guy here, you have to realize your place. You will never have the tongue of a sun bear. So you need to.
I
You need to like,
that
pick
would
up your,
reach too deep. That ain't gonna be good.
you need to pick up your foreplay game if you want to be able to compete with a sun bear.
Oh god. Right. So yes, Elena, you've been asked. Are you enjoying your brains?
I answered.
I didn't actually hear you.
I
Oh.
didn't
It was probably because of Alex. She said, yes, thank you. It's very good.
I see.
either. Your
I
parents.
don't. I don't have any word on your parents, oddly enough. I tried to speak to some individuals, and there are doors that are locked. Even to me, which is interesting in of itself. But if I do hear any word of it, then I will rendezvous it towards you.
I would appreciate that. I have someone else looking as well, but whatever seems to have happened, they're now underground, it seems.
Tell me, I have a curious question. Before the body that you inhabit now, your old body, do you have any of it left?
What do you mean?
Do you have anything left? A hairbrush, a tooth from being a child?
Yes, I believe I have, something like that. I know Mother collected them for some reason.
She then cuts a piece of the steak and puts it in the mouth and is eating it and says, if we can work out how to move your consciousness, we can merely clone the DNA of your old body.
We could?
It's entirely possible. If we had the potential and the ability to take your consciousness and move it from this vessel to another, we could merely use previous DNA of what you used to be like and put your consciousness back in that vessel.
That would probably be a good idea, I think.
I would, of course, need some form of your old DNA, a hair, a tooth, skin fiber.
I've got the old teeth collected. Mother used to collect them. I never knew why. She stopped, well, after, but do Illithid have teeth?
Illithid? No.
No. Okay, she stopped once this happened, which made sense. But I took it with me from home just in case she wanted them when I found her.
Now we merely need to understand how to transfer consciousness. Freya, are you just sitting on the couch while this is happening?
Yeah, I imagine that after he washed his hands and washed his face and stared into the mirror and had like deep thoughts about himself, he probably like used water, like when you put water on your eyes to kind of like help yourself like focus and concentrate again because you're just not having a good go of it. I imagine he walked over and just as he came down, he just sat back down on the couch.
As you sit back on the couch, Cyrene. That picture is just Freya. That picture is just Freya.
That is Freya.
Oh my god. Whenever we say finished our juice boxes as an example, did more appear? Because that's not a lot of drink for a troll.
No, but you could, if you want more, I mean, be a person and ask.
Okay, let's just say that he had a couple on the way.
No. Be a person and ask.
Can I have another juice box, ma'am?
He just holds it up and just shakes it and goes, empty.
Mommy Myra, can I have more juicies?
Mommy, give me the milkies instead.
Ma'am dog, I request more pineapple juice.
Ma'am dog.
And then more pineapple juice shall be had. And the moment you say that, you notice that Kate suddenly appears with looking very confused and goes, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Are you fucking you want a fucking juice box?
What? It was good the first time, dog.
She looks over at the queen like, are you seriously asking me this? And the queen just gives a very enthusiastic nod as she's drinking from the martini glass.
If you
Fucking
didn't want me to
pineapple
ask
juice.
for more, if you didn't want me to ask for more, you shouldn't have made it so good the first
I
time.
didn't realize you had the fucking pineapple. I'm fucking chilling out.
Honestly, I was pretty surprised when they brought it the first time. I
You
didn't think they'd
realize
actually
that's
bring it.
designed for kids, right? That's for school kids.
I'm sorry, I'm not picky.
Fuck's sake. I'll be right back with your fucking juice box. She storms away, like, passes you, Freya, and it's like, I can't believe this fucking idiot wants fucking juice box. We have wine centuries old. We have 1,000-year-old when he wants a fucking juice box.
Yeah, Flip Nork's a little weird.
While she yells that, Elena goes, "What does wine taste like?"
Would you like some wine?
I suppose I'll give it a shot. I've never had it before, or any other alcoholic beverage.
The queen actually gets up off of her throne and looks at Tox as she reaches for your bottle of wine and goes, "May I?"
Yeah, go ahead.
She takes the bottle of wine and she goes over towards Elena, and a glass appears on your table. And she pours it out and goes, "There you go."
Is there a proper way to do this? I saw Tux and you make some motions before.
Drink it as you would any.
Okay. And so Elena will take a sip at first, tentatively.
The moment you take a sip, you hear the queen's voice in your head. And I'm going to say, I would message this, but I'm actually going to say it because it's going to be a poignant part for the end of the episode. And you hear the queen in your voice say, "Dear, the measure of who you are and the measure of your beauty in femininity or masculinity is not bound to the confines of what shell you hold. I have seen into your mind, and I see the envy that you have towards others that sit at this table with conventional beauty. But do not fret, because there is more to the beauty of a person than the flesh that they are in."
She'll just nod and sip again.
The queen makes her way back and kind of pops the bottle right back next to Tox. And then she's going to whisper to you, Tox, and she's going to go, "I'm pretty sure you're aware, but you don't need to be a psionic to sense that the bear's pheromones are going off so much that he has more than a little thing for you, dearie."
Right.
God, is he gonna go into heat?
Oh.
Oh no.
I don't know. That's on Helena.
That's up to you. No, that's up to you. She's just saying that, like, a predator or an animal where they naturally see one that they, have affection towards, wanting to mate with, that they let off pheromones to do that. And you are, while a sentient and educated bear man, you are still a bear man. And there are some parts of nature that you cannot beat, which is the letting go of pheromones when there is an interest in an individual.
Oh no. It smells like honey. It smells like honey.
I want you to know I had recently ate and I fucking gagged.
I'm gonna have to read that out loud for the audio experience of Tox. What does Usarian Cummy's musk smell like?
I've already given the answer. It smells like honey.
Smells
The
like
question
honey.
is, do you want that again in the Flipnork voice?
Smells like honey and teenage desperation.
Yeah.
No, if you fucking do it in the Flipnork voice, I leave.
Ass.
Do it, Devin. Do it.
With a little bit of shame in there.
What exactly does Usarian Cummy's musk smell like?
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Or Saurian Cummy Musk.
I'm waiting, Caitlin.
Oh, no.
Do it.
I'm waiting, Caitlin.
What are you waiting for?
You said if he read it, you were
Carson, wanna
leaving.
shoot me, shoot me.
Hey, how
I fucking
Okay.
muted him.
I'm really curious about how
That's not what you said.
No, but here's the thing. As soon as you did it, I know he was actually gonna do it, so I fucking muted his ass.
That doesn't count.
So, as
Yeah.
this is going on, and after we've discussed the Queen has said, yeah, you know he really likes you. Cyrene sits on the table in front of Freya, and not like sitting on the edge. No, she just full on sits on the table, cross-legged, and looks at him and says, "So, what's going on with you? You haven't went back and joined the rest of your friends?"
And Freya kind of nods and like, yeah, I need to collect myself a bit before I go back in there.
Why's that?
He's and he's just kind of like I told them just now. They're really just amazing people, especially Myra. But you know, the people I travel with and consider my friends are great. And in an attempt to match that greatness, I have set myself a rather ambitious goal.
What, you don't think you can make that goal, big guy?
He he kind of has that I think the only way to describe it is like that Midoriya smile back in like season 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oddly enough, I know exactly what you mean. Devin
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
does as
we're
well.
anxious and nervous, but there is a smile. And he's just kind of like, it's not that I don't think I can do it, like, because he's just like, I feel like it's the only true path for me to get what I want in life as well. I'm more concerned that I can get as strong as I want. I can become strong enough to move planets, become strong enough to stand equal to the astral dragons, to fulfill my promise to Myra, my ambitions. I can become strong enough to break everyone's chains and carve out a future. But if they're not ready or willing for that, I'm afraid they'll die before they get a chance to.
Well then... And she holds out a hand and an apple appears in it. And she takes a bite. I guess you gotta make sure they're ready. Same way that Myra needs to make sure that all of you are ready.
Where it's just like, yeah, I don't get enjoyment from killing people, like killing certain individuals, like some of us do. But I won't. I refuse to be the last one standing, the last one fighting while their corpses are strewn about again. I don't take enjoyment from taking another person's life, but killing someone, I've done that enough. Pretty easy, you know? Well placed punch, well placed axe, teeth. Done that. I don't know if you guys had access to my record.
No, but I'd sort of fight, so, you know.
Yeah. I've killed a lot of people, but you know, I think I need to make sure that I am enough for them to be ready, or at least for them to be able to accept that they're worth saving. I get the feeling that a lot of them have baggage that they're letting overwhelm them, and I'm just hoping I'll be enough to at least help them cross that bridge.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can only do what you could do for them. You can only help them as much as they need.
Fair. I don't know. He's like, yeah, I know. I just want to be able to live with her and to have them still in my lives when it's all over.
Well, then, you better make sure that whatever it is, you get through it as best you can.
He kind of looks up, same kind of smile, but a little bit more confidence in his eyes. He's like, we will win. There's no other choice. And that makes it easy. He will.
Yeah.
He'll kind of stand up. Well, gotta get back there before. Well, she doesn't worry about me, but some of the others might.
As you get back, I'm just gonna, but just to get rid of the ending part of this episode, I'm gonna close off by saying, you all have your meals, and you spend a bit of time with the queen. She does gesture that perhaps in the future you'll return, especially if I need to organize my fighter. And that you would rendezvous with getting information from her, and she's going to try and help you guys out as much as she can with leads on what the Serpentis Imperator might be, and what the enemy in this war is going to be, and what she thinks the real enemy in this war is going to be. And she will then gesture for you all to kindly leave the dining room and to follow Kate and Cyrene, who will take you out of this place. And that's my way of getting you all out. And what I will say,
I want to. I actually want to linger.
Yeah, go on.
I want to linger behind a moment after everybody's left,
Okay.
and I want to ask her how she can help me find out who or what I might actually be.
She takes a drink and says, well, the only way I can do that is by spending time with you and trying to dive deeper into your consciousness. Same way as I dived into the others to use my abilities to see what they were thinking and to get them to tell the truth. I have to venture into your thought patterns. It's harder because at the moment, technically, you're an arcane core, and it's hard to actually delve into that, but with more practice and the full importance of my power, I can maybe get into there and find out exactly what happened with you.
How will I know that you won't just try and use that information against us for your own means, or just for your own amusement?
He finishes the drink and places the martini glass on the table, pushing it slightly forward. You're just going to have to trust me.
Well, hopefully time will dictate as to whether we can or not.
She gives you a nod and says, well, in the nicest possible way, I now require that you to leave. Why do you want to make a con save?
I was gonna say it's Elena's first time drinking. I think it would be fitting.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Make me a con save and I'll tell you whether or not you fail.
Because even if it's just wine, I figure she might have had a glass or two.
Okay.
And first time drinking.
Roll me a con save.
As that's happening, I do thank her for.
Oh, fuck me!
Yeah, you're fine.
I thank her for the food, even though I don't know how how it came to get there because I didn't actually request anything.
She smiles at you and goes, "Perks of being the Queen of Sirens."
And
I
I
would like to
believe
imagine that when Freyr and Hector bumped into each other at the door,
Yeah.
Freyr was just like, Hector, did you eat your fucking potatoes?
I ate some of them, okay?
you fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah, Freyr just like makes that doubt face and just. Can I insight if he ate potatoes?
Yes, you can insight if he ate potatoes.
We'll go and insight the fuck out of that. We're gonna find this. We're gonna find out if this man.
Come on,
this-
crit fail.
If this snacker ate potatoes.
No, he said I need to edit that out. He did actually eat some of the potatoes, so I'm not gonna roll. I was gonna roll. I was gonna roll, but then I was like, hold on, no, he actually did eat some of them, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a deception. So like,
Freyr does two claws up to his eyes and back at him.
I assure Freyr that I saw Hector eat some of the potatoes.
Good. Fucking
well,
idiot.
to cap this episode off, as you leave with the more boastful, the more fun hijinks of did you eat those potatoes? I'm watching you. The Queen sits alone in the dining room. She places her hand over her head, like over her face, and she lets out a deep sigh. There's a moment of just lingering quiet in the room, and then she out loud speaks to herself, and she goes, "Jill Fez, I know you're there. If you want to speak to me about them, just speak to me."
Oh.
And we're going to end on that.
Oh.
Bam.